CERAWeek by IHS Markit kicked off yesterday, virtually. So from day one, what were my key takeaways? Now I'm coming at this from the technology point of view, but three things stood out. Direct air capture, nuclear fusion, and alternative liquid fuels. First one. Carbon capture was a topic in almost every conversation. And carbon capture technologies, there's a lot of different ones out there, and some have been deployed already in oil and gas and other industries. But what was interesting was the concept of direct air capture of carbon out of the air came up a couple of times, more so than I thought. Now this is from the likes of companies like Climeworks and Carbon Engineering. But quite a few people were talking about it as it's a part of the puzzle. Now, like all carbon capture technologies, how do you scale it? How do you create the financial incentives to make it scale, innovate, and. But direct air capture, keep an eye out for that one. Second one, nuclear fusion. This was a topic that came up by a couple of people, and they were quite bullish on it. Now, nuclear fusion is, think ITER, think companies like Common Fusion Systems in the US. Nuclear fusion is new for us. It's what powers the sun, but we haven't done it yet. But there's an awful lot of investment and brain power being put into this. Now, again, it's hard, but as a future technology, you know, if we crack that one, that changes the game in all sorts of ways. So keep an eye out for nuclear fusion. Third one, alternative liquid fuels. Now, by that, I mean, it came up from the CEO of United Airlines. Regardless of how good battery technology and hydrogen and future advancements in solid state batteries and are, there are certain industries, airlines, heavy industry, where the energy density simply isn't there. So a liquid fuel. Now, where do you get the liquid fuel? Obviously, we have oil and gas. But how do you create biofuels and how do you create synthetic fuels? Now, what was fascinating was, again, there are so many different companies. You had Praj Industries from India, you had Enerkem, you had LanzaTech, talking about how they are creating, let's say, alternative liquid fuels and capturing carbon, but using all sorts of different types of processes and feedstocks. So obviously you've got biomaterial, whether you grow it specially or you just take farm waste. Maybe you take slurry from farm waste. Maybe you take plastic waste and turn that into alternative liquid fuels. And the technologies under the covers, you've got everything from enzymes, algae, chemical, thermochemical, you name it. But there's a lot of ways of creating some of these alternative liquid fuels from some of the stuff we have already. And what I mean by that is the whole circular economy. So keep an eye out for some of those technologies. Again, how will they scale? How do you create the financial incentives? That's the hard bit. But fascinating. Now, last one. Hydrogen came up in every single topic yesterday, but that's a story for another day. Anyway, on to day 2.